All right, today we're diving into something pretty profound, Sanātana Dharma. Our source material calls it the universal way of life. And what we're going to do is explore this worldview, which comes from a revered Hindu sage, and see how it offers some ancient answers to problems that feel incredibly modern. So, right off the bat, the text hits us with this really powerful critique. It says, it is a matter of shame that we are ignorant of the sastras. Sastras, by the way, are the sacred scriptures. The core argument here is that our modern education, for all its benefits, has created this kind of tragic disconnect, you know? We can become total experts on things happening halfway across the world, but we're left completely in the dark about our own spiritual heritage. So that really begs the question, right? What is this forgotten wisdom? And maybe more importantly, how does it actually propose a path back to a sense of meaning? That's what we're going to explore, how these ancient teachings are presented as a potential solution to what a lot of us feel today, a real crisis of purpose. Okay, so first, let's really dig into the problem as the author sees it. It's this idea of a modern world that's kind of lost its way, suffering from a loss of discipline and faith. The text argues that if you look around at the world, all the turmoil, the indiscipline, the social unrest, it's not just random chaos. It's actually a symptom of something much deeper, a kind of spiritual sickness. From this point of view, the problems we face aren't just political or economic. Nope, they're the direct result of a spiritual void. All right, so if that's the diagnosis of the problem, what's the prescription? Well, the text points us toward one central concept, Dharma, the universal way. Now, it's really important to understand what Sanātana Dharma means here. It's not just a religion like we might think of it today. It's presented as something way bigger. It's described as mankind's earliest way of life. The words themselves tell the story. It's anadi, beginningless, ananta, endless, and sanatana, eternal. Why? Because it's in perfect harmony with the laws of nature, with the cosmos itself. Okay, so how do you actually live this out? Well, the path is structured around these four fundamental aims of human life, the Purusharthas. Think of it like building a house. The foundation is dharma, righteous conduct, doing the right thing. Once you've got that solid foundation, you can build the rest. You can pursue artha, which is material prosperity, and kama, which is fulfilling worldly desires. But, and this is the key, the ultimate goal, the roof over the whole thing, is moksha, ultimate liberation. It's a complete roadmap for a meaningful life. So if Dharma is the path, you're probably asking, where's the map? And for that, the source material points us directly to the Vedas. They're seen as the foundational blueprint for this entire journey. And to help us understand this huge collection of texts, the source gives us this beautiful and really powerful metaphor. It visualizes the Veda as a giant tree. Each part of that tree, the trunk, the flowers, the fruit, represents a different stage of wisdom, a different part of the sacred texts. Let's break that down because it's a fantastic way to see the progression. You start with the Samhita, that's the tree itself, the core mantras. Then you have the Brahmana, which are like the flowers, describing all the rituals. After that comes the Arnyanaka, the unripe fruit. These are deeper philosophical treatises. And finally, you get to the Upanishad. This is the ripe, juicy fruit, the ultimate knowledge, what's also known as Vedanta. But here's the most important takeaway from all this. What's the point of the tree, the rituals, the philosophy, the whole shebang? According to the text, it all points to one thing, providing the direct means for you to realize your true self. Okay, so that's the high-level theory. Let's get practical. How does this blueprint actually translate into a structured way of life, both for a person and for society as a whole? Well, for the individual, life is structured by a series of sacraments, or what are called samskaras. Think about the biggest milestones in anyone's life: birth, getting your name, initiation, marriage, and even the final rites. Each of these moments is marked by a specific ritual, and the idea is that each one purifies and prepares the person for the next stage of their journey. Now, on a societal level, the text describes a structure based on a division of labor. The way our source presents it, this system was designed to create balance and harmony. The idea was that different groups had specific duties assigned by birth, and each group's function was essential for the whole of society to work properly. And it's really important to get this. This tradition is not a monolith. It's not just one single way of thinking. In fact, it's incredibly diverse. You've got different paths of inquiry, different schools of thought. For example, you have Purvamamamsa, which is all about interpreting the Vedic rituals. Then there's Nyaya, which is a whole school dedicated to logic and reasoning to figure out what's true. And then, of course, there's Vedanta, which we mentioned, focusing on that ultimate goal, knowledge of the self.
Okay, so we've covered the problem, the path, the blueprint, and the practices. Now we're getting to the final destination. Everything we've talked about, the philosophy, the rituals, the social duties, it all funnels down into one single supreme goal.
To understand this goal, the teachings make a really sharp distinction between two types of happiness. On one side, you've got kama, which is worldly pleasure. The happiness you get from external things. The text says this is always fleeting, it comes and goes. But on the other side, you have moksha. This is described as an everlasting, unshakable bliss. And the key difference? It's not found in anything outside of you. It's found by dwelling deep within your own self. And that is moksha. Remember that tree metaphor? This is the final ripe fruit. It's the ultimate aim of life, the purusartha that tops them all. What is it exactly? It's liberation from that endless cycle of rebirth. It's the moment of experiential realization, the aha moment to end all aha moments, when you understand that your individual self isn't separate at all. It is, and always has been, one with the Supreme Being. Listen to how the text describes this state. It's just beautiful. Like water mingled with water all become one in the Paramatman. It's this idea of a complete merging. Imagine a drop of water returning to the ocean. That's the feeling. And the text says that a person who achieves this, who is freed from all desire, they exist as the Brahman, as that ultimate reality, even while they're still living in the world. And that brings us right back to where we started. Remember that diagnosis of our modern world? A world filled with distraction and a search for meaning? Well, after all of this, the text leaves us with its answer. A path of inner discipline, a journey towards self-realization. Which leaves us with a pretty big question to think about, doesn't it? In our own age of endless distraction, what does a path like this, a path of inner discipline, truly have to offer?